Okay, why John failed purifying himself? Why did he fail? And the fact that he killed himself. And what is the author saying by making him commit suicide? What? The way out? What do you mean by it? No way out? Okay, human, a man. A man is eventually, we're born in this world, right? But we have no choice but to live in society. We have to be part of society, no matter what it is. It's a utopia. It's a utopia, but you can't be outside it. Maybe this is what the author is trying to say. I don't know. Right? Okay, group 4, what do you think? What is the author trying to say here?
With the suicide?
Huxley. Huxley is trying to say something by way of this, in this novel, right? What is it? That okay, any group. Personally, on a personal level, John killed himself. What is the personal meaning of John killing himself? Why it didn't have other choice? Personally, he committed what? Big mistake. He committed sin, right? By attacking Linnea. There was a very beautiful scene. He imagines it in dream, right? He is strongly desiring her. It's beautifully described, right? Even though it's a dream. That's what his feeling is. He has a strong feeling for Linnea. He despises her, right? Her morality and values, and he hates everything. But his body, his physical self, strongly desires it. There is a contradiction, right? And finally, he kills her by flogging, or maybe by imprecation. John had sex with her in an orgy, right? He doesn't know, right? He suddenly awakened, right? And he was under the influence of soma, right? Everybody's doing what everyone else is doing. Probably John is was part of that, and by killing himself is a kind of repentance, I think. I don't know, it's a very fascinating novel, right? Okay, let's go back to the earlier chapters. Oh, your reaction. Your assignments are very interesting. Park Dong-gu, you focus on consumption, and other students focus on consumption, right? The Culture of Consumption, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley is the engine driving the success and happiness of the state, although to the masses it may seem as though identity is something secure and comfortable. It's rather based on identity obliterating principles of mass production and consumerism. All trace of human elements of individuality and identity have been replaced by the concept of the common good of family sex have been reduced to the maxim, which is one of the important quotes from Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Everyone belongs to everyone else. About sex, consumption, and the soma is the principle. Good. Okay, Park Yong-gu. And Park Hee-jin. Park Jin-hee, okay. The more and more I read through the book, I had to revere Aldous Huxley for his foresight. I really liked the novel because it offered me the chance to reflect on our society. Good. Our society is exactly the one described in Brave New World, I think. Exactly. Right? In the world state, people are so obsessed with pleasure, like today, and seek instantaneous satisfaction of desire that do not see other purpose in lives and are degraded into products themselves to be consumed and replaced when worn out. Doesn't this ring familiar? Sure, I agree. The Brave New World is not a new world at all. It is just an extreme version of today's society. The world state government conditions its people to love country sports, and that entail the use of elaborate apparatus, while big corporations in our society try to assure us that phones and all the smart devices make our lives much more convenient and happier. From bottle babies to fillies, the consumerist dystopia is almost like a Bokanovsky-fied twin of today's society. To me, the novel is a warning against our consumerist obsession with happiness, pleasure, and convenience. Yes, technology do make our lives more enjoyable. So what? Life only in pursuit of pleasure and without any purpose is meaningless. What differentiates us from machines or animals is that humans define our lives by our purpose. Okay, good. Chang Seung-woo. Science as interest humanity is the major theme of Brave New World. The novel depicts a new society where human beings have been stripped of individual freedom, programmed to type behavior, and conditioned to respond in scientific ways to specific stimulants. All traces of the old order have been eliminated. No longer are human emotions and relationships important. Infants are created in the fertilizing room and decamped to perform certain tasks for the totalitarian regime. So, the Brave New World is like what? Democracy or socialist state? Socialist? And in some respects, and to democracy also. So he had been nominated for Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize was created in 1901, and he had been nominated for the prize on several different occasions, but he didn't get it. Why? The novel is too advanced, too far ahead of time. Right? I think it's also ironical that he died. He had a throat cancer, and when he died, he asked for what? LSD, soma, 2 doses of soma. He died. Interesting, right? Okay, Chang Seung-woo. Okay. Lee So-yeon. To me, the most interesting chapter of the 4 chapters is chapter 18. This is because it got several hilarious parts in it. For example, there's a part, our radio reporter has coccyx kicked by mystery savage. Coccyx? The tail, right? Tailbone, right? Interesting. Very symbolic, right? Tailbone. It was part of a tail, like like apes. Humans were maybe of the same origin. We were apes. He cut. He was cut, right? Kicked, right? This is a headline of a new edition of the Hourly Radio. This is so funny because it was posted 8 minutes after the action happened, according to this novel. The climax was when the reporter said, "Sensation even in London." Another example is the last part of the novel when Savage asked the woman, "What do you want with me?" And suddenly hundreds of voices shouted, "We want the whip." Right? We want the whip. And then the chorus became a what? A song. Orgy Puzzy, Orgy Puzzy. And then the riot turned into a party. And John became part of it. Fascinating. Right? Yeah. 이서연, 김도경. The last part. Report filmmakers, even crowds invade his privacy. Yeah. If they had left him alone, he could have purified himself, right? And he could live like a human, dignified human, right? But in a society, privacy is not allowed. Do you know that? We have to live with society, right? It's a paradox, right? So you live in North Korea, you are part of it. If you disobey them, you will be killed. So everybody should applaud, stand up, applaud. And our hero, Kim Jong-un, you have to shout it. If you don't shout it, you will be killed, you will disappear. So what? If you live in the United States, you have to follow what U.S. citizens do. Because what do you think of the candidate? Two candidates. I personally like Hillary Clinton, but many people like the other candidate. It doesn't make sense for most of them, but for some people, he makes sense. So it's fascinating. It's part of the USA. Do you like it? So that's why John killed himself. Okay, and Kim Do-kyung. And Jang-Ju-yeon. This novel doesn't simply show us a world that is different from ours, but it shows a world that is a mirror of ours with the worst features of our world drawn out and exaggerated. It's amazing. The novel was done 100 years ago, and it is exactly the mirror of our society. Isn't it surprising, right? Good. And okay. Sarah, interesting part, chapter 16. Though, ironically enough, the savage is left in the world state to suffer in solitude until his last moment, when he commits suicide, while Bernard and Helmholtz experience a life free from the state's overbearing control and regulation. I find interesting, right? Until I read this assignment, I thought nobody is actually a hero in this novel. But after reading this, probably Bernard is a hero. Bernard is a kind of hero, right? He is like human, right? He's a very weak person, but he is just like us, right? Bernard, good, okay. And another assignment. Brave New World is a cautionary tale. Its central theme is the faults of relying too heavily on capitalism and consumption, and also socialism. The mentality of consumption has literally consume the humanity of the world state, doesn't feel nothing real, every aspect of life. If assumption are programmed, what we love will eventually kill us. Our desire to remain in the hands of time and nature is fasted in this overwhelming censorship of reality. Great, right? I greatly enjoyed Brave New World for this an interesting on dystopia. So the world state, all the citizens to live out the sacrifice to peace are clear. There's only assumption. This world eats at love, at loyalty, at knowledge, at evolution, and at growth. It eats away what humans think determines humanity. It's similarities to our society and culture, definitely, that swayed me to love this work. Good, very good. Story. Okay, let's go to the book and enjoy part of it. Okay, chapter 15. It begins with the menial staff of the Park Lane Hospital for the Dying consists of 162 deltas divided into two Volkanovsky groups of 84 red-headed female and 78 dark dorcocephalic male twins, respectively. At 6, when their working day was over, the two groups assembled in the vestibule of the hospital and were served by the deputy sub-bursar with their soma ration. So what? Workers like you, all of you, you are made to work. And then after work, what is given? Soma. Do you like soma?
I like soju.
Okay. Okay, page 112, last paragraph. But do you like being slaves? The savage was saying as they entered the hospital. His face was flushed, his eyes bright with ardor and indignation. Do you like being babies? Yes, babies. Mewling and pock-picking, he added, exasperated by their bestial stupidity to throw insults at those he had come to save. John is trying to stop them from taking out the soma, right? It became a riot, right? The insults bounced off their carapace of thick stupidity. I like this metaphor. They stared at him with a blank expression of dull and sullen resentment in their eyes. Yes, puking, they fairly shouted. Grief and remorse, compassion and duty, all were forgotten now, and as it were, absorbed into an intense, overpowering hatred of these less than human monsters. Don't you know to be free and man? And their response is what? They say that he's mad. He is mad, right? Right? To deltas, to all the deltas, a normal person look like what? Madman, right? But it's interesting. Helmholtz Watson tend to agree with John, right? Very interesting, right? And Helmholtz pursues what? He is a creator and propaganda. And what is interested in? Beauty. Right? He seeks beauty. He is not allowed to seek beauty, right? It's interesting, right? Okay, look at how they suppress them. Page 114. From bottom, second paragraph. Quick, quick, yelled Bernard. They'll, if you hurry, they'll all know by one of them. It looks like the riot controlling scene, right? So, water people are shot on, but not stood for wobbling unsteadily on legs. So they seem to have lost their bones, their talents, and their muscles, to have become mere sticks of jelly, and at least not even jelly, water. He tumbled in a heap on the floor. Suddenly, from out of synthetic music box, a voice began to speak. They're interesting. They were programmed, and when they listen, they respond. So, the voice of reason, the voice of good, the track role was unwinding itself in synthetic anti-right speech number 2, medium strength. Very interesting. Different kinds of versions, right? This is a medium strength song, right? A medium strength. Straight from the depths of a non-existent heart. My friends, said the voice, so pathetically, with a note of such infinitely tender reproach that behind their gas mask, even the policeman's eyes were momentarily dimmed with tears. All of them are programmed, right? Even the riot police are shedding tears, right? What is the meaning of this? Why aren't you all being happy and good together? Happy and good, the voice repeated. At peace, at peace. It trembled, sank into whisper, momentarily expired. Oh, I do want you to be happy, it began, with yawning earnestness. I do so want you to be good. Please, please be good. Wonderful, right? Okay. And chapter 16, the room into which the three were ushered was the controller study. So there was debate between what? The controller and John, kind of discussion. And this is, I think one of you pointed out that this is the central chapter. Yes, I agree in part, right? It's the central chapter, right? Because why? Okay, did you read the novel? Did you read this chapter? Why this world does not allow people read Othello? Baktini? They are not allowed to read Othello. Why? It's harmful for them to read it. Stability will be influenced by. Yeah. Okay, page 220. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth paragraph. Because our world is not the same as Othello's world. You can't make flavors without steel, and you can't make crises without social stability. The world is stable now. The world is stable now. With what? With the aid of Soma, right? People are happy. They get what they want. And they never want what they can't get. They are well off. They are safe. They are never ill.